Without question, the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by author Robert Kiyosaki is one of the most read real estate investing books. If you talk to any successful real estate investor, they would tell you that is the book that may, change their mind, that probably the first book they read that get them on the trajectory of real estate investing. Today, I'm going to summarize the book for you and give you his principles for building generational wealth. So the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad is basically Robert Kiyosaki's recollection of his interaction between his rich dad, which is his best friend's father, who happened to be a very savvy entrepreneur and real estate investor, and his real life dad, which is the poor dad. This book gives you some of the key lessons he learned from his rich dad and how his whole mindset about transitioning from a 9-to-5 job to an entrepreneurship is what helped kickstart his building of generational wealth. The number one principle Robert Kiyosaki emphasized is the importance of financial education. This is not something that we learn from school. Even if you major in economics or finance, your professors don't necessarily teach you those principles. A lot of financial education I personally learned from watching a lot of YouTube videos, listening to podcasts such as Bigger Pockets, listening to how other real estate investors found their deals, what categories, what marketplace they go into, how they go from one unit to multi-units. Listening to those free resources could give you some ideas on how you want to start and where you want to go and which market you want to focus on. There are also local real estate investor meetup that you can check out. Meetup has a lot of those groups in your local market. There are many real estate seminars where you can network and ask questions and learn the fundamentals of real estate investing at a higher level in organized seminars. So those are great resources to look into in getting a solid real estate investing financial education. Number two principle Robert Kiyosaki emphasized is to understand the difference between liability and assets. Now, liabilities are defined by investments that actually take money away from your pocket. Assets are investments that actually put money into your pocket. So what are liabilities? Liabilities such as cars, automobiles. They might look nice and shiny for you to drive in on the road, but these are depreciating assets. When you sell them, chances are you're not going to make money out of it. What are assets? Assets such as stocks, such as bonds, such as real estate. In the long run, they will grow in value, and those are the type of investments that you want to get into. So understand, when you put your money into something, are you putting money into a liability or putting money into an asset? Number three principle that Robert Kiyosaki emphasized is the importance of having passive income. He talked a great deal about real estate, his real estate holding, and real estate, even though we use the word passive, but there's actually nothing passive about it. It is something that you have to actively manage if you own rental properties. Rental properties could come in the form of multi-unit residential. It could come in the form of a strip mall. It could come in the form of a hotel. Owning those assets that give you an income stream is key importance and key principle in building generational wealth. Not to mention there's a whole slew of tax benefits and whole slew of, when you own an investment property, there's a lot of write-off you can have in those asset class. So the bottom line about passive income is that it will free you up to have to rely on a 9-to-5 job. It creates an income stream that's steady enough for you to have the freedom you want. So number four principle is to have the right mindset and overcoming the fear. Sometimes getting into a major real estate investment, for example, is a lot of money, but having the right mindset will allow you to not let your fear talk you out of it and understand there are creative ways, there are creative financing, creative partnership you can form to get into an asset without having to dump your life saving into it. Having the right mindset and not let something that's unfamiliar and something that's huge enough numbers scare you. It's very important. Number 5, the value of entrepreneurship and investing. Robert Kiyosaki emphasized that owning businesses and investing in real estate and stocks are the path to generational wealth. The key is to really hold those asset class long enough. Without fail, those asset class will increase in value, and there's a lot of tax benefits on how that could be passed on to future generations. So this idea of investing in income-producing assets is really, in the long run, what creates real wealth, generational wealth, rather than relying on the 9-to-5 job. Now you know more about Robert Kiyosaki's principles in building generational wealth. If you want to hear a real-life examples on how I turn one of my properties into 2 income-generating properties and effectively quadruple my passive income, watch this video right here.